Joining us now to discuss the history of the church and a Catholic look at Black History Month is Gloria Purvis. She is the creator of Authentically Free at Last and host of Morning Glory on EWTN Radio. Gloria, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, so tell us, I know that you were a parishioner at the church for a very long time,
Yes.
and so you know a lot about the history of it. Let's talk about that because Abraham Lincoln's contribution wasn't the only thing.
Yeah, so really the impetus for the idea of having the fundraiser on the White House lawn came from the Free Black Catholic parishioners at the parish. The Ways and Means Committee chose Gabriel Coakley to go to the White House and ask President Lincoln why him, because his wife was a noted seamstress who sewed a lot of dresses for Mary Todd Lincoln, so he had an in, if you will, and he approached the president with this idea of having a fundraiser on the White House lawn, and it was a massive success. And I think what makes it all the more remarkable is people need to remember that at that time, Black Catholics were separated from white Catholics in the worship in church. Even if you were in the same parish, you had separate Sunday schools for the Black children, separate seating for Black Catholics, and Black Catholics often had to receive the Eucharist after all of the white Catholics. And so it's a story of resilience and love for the faith that these people didn't leave the church but decided we need to fund our own parish.
Yeah, and how amazing. Just to go up to the president, right?
I know. Those days you could do that. And the fact that he had an in because of his wife, having this relationship with Mary Todd Lincoln, the women always come in handy, huh?
Absolutely,
so
they do.
It's like a good thing, a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, tell us, is there anything else that we should know about the history of the church?
Well, I think the church is still thriving. That's one. The other thing that I think people probably are not aware of, but the choir at St. Augustine Church was world-renowned. And in the early days of the church, they also did tours to raise money for the parish. It reminds me a bit of the Jubilee singers from Fisk University that would go around internationally and sing to raise money for the university. Likewise, the parish had a world-famous choir that raised money. And in fact, the parish recently sang at the White House when Pope Francis came to the United States.
Wow.
I know.
So it's Black History Month, of course,
Yes.
we know that. Let's talk a little bit about that and the history of Black History Month, why it started.
So Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the son of slaves, was a graduate of the University of Chicago. He got his master's and bachelor's degree from University of Chicago and got a PhD from Harvard University. First was W.E.B. Du Bois. He recognized that there was a dearth of study of Black life and of Black achievements, and so he started the study of Negro history, an organization to do that in 1915. And this was 50 years or so after the Emancipation Proclamation. He went to a big celebration and saw the desire of African Americans to know more about the history. He started this study. Then in 1926, he started Negro History Week. In 1976, President Gerald Ford made it Black History Month. Now, for Catholics, how we might look at this is, in the church, we have saints who we look to for inspiration. Dr. Carter G. Woodson likewise said there are so many Black people who've achieved things, they could serve as an impetus for Black people to have an inspiration to better themselves. So Black History Month serves to remind us of the great achievements of so many African Americans in hopes of inspiring us to do better and also to educate the public on what has largely been an ignored history.
Well, Gloria, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge. So much we could talk about.
I tell you. Thank you for having me.
We'll have you back. Thank you, Gloria.